Here we are.
Here we are.
In the jungle. I don't know how we ended up here.
Take an adventure with me, babe.
Darcy and I did just that, and we headed straight to the Dominican Republic for an incredible family vacation where we bonded with loved ones and created some incredible memories. In this week's video, we're going to show you guys where we stayed, what we saw, and how we enjoyed Puerto Plata and its surrounding regions. Whether you're thinking of visiting the North Coast or have some thoughts about it, we hope our video can help provide you with some ideas. Come along with us as we go on vacation together. Our journey begins in the Sosua region, which is a town and beachside community roughly 20 minutes away from the Puerto Plata airport. And specifically, we stayed in a community called Casa Linda. It's a private gated community minutes away from Sosua's town center. Here, it's less about the culture and more about the comfort. You have a private villa, a pool, access to shuttle bus that take you right to the local beaches, a restaurant that serves up food for the pickiest of eaters, and so much more. If you're Canadian, you're gonna feel right at home here. Most of the neighbors and residents that we met on our trip were Canadian, something that becomes abundantly clear throughout the region and has inspired how we hope to travel around Sosua.
So honey, what's been your favorite thing about here at Casa Linda?
Here with Chris's family, they're hosting us and just spending time in our own private villa, hanging out, getting family memories, swimming in the pool. Just that bonding time, it's incredible.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Let's enjoy my fresh coconut. It doesn't get better than this.
As we head into the town of Sosua, things do appear a bit different. Here, there is a lot more culture. In the town center, you're going to find a small park with a gazebo and a statue head that honors one of the Dominican's most celebrated leaders. You're also going to find grocery stores, restaurants and bars, banking, and truthfully, some things you might not be bargaining for.
That's Sosua, baby!
That's Sosua, baby!
It's really clear right off the bat that the north coast of the Dominican Republic is really catered to tourists, although not as glitzy and glamorous as other parts like Punta Cana, and especially here in Sosua. That being said, so much of what you're going to find in Sosua still caters to tourists, and especially Canadian expats. That's what makes Sosua's most notable bar, despite its frightening decor, such a friendly place to have a drink. The Jolly Roger, commonly referred to as the Jolly by those that regular here, is a pirate bar and community hotspot. Inside you're going to find a lot of Canadians, great drinks, excellent service, events and parties, and even more Canadians.
Oh boy, that looks great.
It's
What is it?
spiced rum, orange juice, and Coke.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that would destroy a ship coming right at you. Just as Elvis intended.
Luck-a-loo-loo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If you're hanging around Sosua and you're looking for a safe spot that feels like home, find the Jolly Roger. If we ever find our way back out to Sosua, you might even find us there.
Guys, there are so many places to get a drink, some food, massages,
Good spot to chill out.
or watch a hockey game.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of those, eh?
There's so many Canadian spots around.
Everywhere you look.
Our Canadian journey continued on, and our internet sleuthing led us to what was once named Chez Montreal, now called Tiki Wiki. Here, allegedly, you're going to be able to find an authentic Canadian poutine. Now look, I understand those words alone could probably cause some controversy, but nonetheless, we were on the quest to find Canadian representation here in Sosua, and we were going to try an authentic poutine.
What? You never get this much cheese at home. Yep, it's really good. Gravy's nice. Cheese curds got that sweet. It's like home.
And these fries are really good too. Like,
They look like double fried.
yeah, we notice a lot of places here you're not getting like fries like these. You're getting more potato wedges everywhere you go, or skinny shoestring fries. So to get something that looks hand cut, well done. Well done, Tiki Wiki.
They know what's up.
The Tiki Wiki's poutine was as close to a traditional poutine as we've ever had outside of Canada. Now, like, of course, the cheese isn't perfect, but it wasn't shredded. Also, it's worth mentioning the restaurant experience here are a little harrowing. It's a busy area, and it can get a little overwhelming, especially for a man who considers Animal Kingdom at Disney World adventurous. So keep that in mind. Moving on. We as a family were also able to enjoy Casa Coco's 24-hour restaurant bar, which you can find right in Sosua. Now, Casa Coco is kind of infamous in the Sosua region. Yes, it is Canadian owned, but not just that. They're also a property management company, which operates mostly in Casa Linda. A huge perk of renting a Casa Coco home, like our family did, is that you can order daily free breakfast from the Casa Coco restaurant. Through this service, we were able to order an authentic Dominican meal, the Dominican Breakfast Trio. The Dominican Breakfast Trio is a plate of mashed plantains and onions, fried cheese, salami, and eggs. The star of the show are these plantains. They have a super unique flavor, texturally similar to that of mushy peas. They're definitely fresh and are a unique side to go along with the rest of the plate. The rest is pretty familiar. Instead of link or sausage, you're gonna have salami, and instead of a plain hash brown, your side is fried cheese. Now, don't get this confused with the other kind of Dominican breakfast, which we'll talk about later. But I do recommend trying this plate at least once. It's popular and available at pretty much any restaurant here that serves breakfast. Back in Sosua at the actual Casa Coco restaurant, we enjoyed a good old family meal. There's no evolving the plate here. It's all familiar Canadian food with some regional additions. And when you've got kids and a larger family with you, a place like this makes a lot of sense. I know this is going to sound weird, but if you find your way out here, maybe consider their stuffed crust pizza. There's a lot of bad pizzas in this part of the world, but this ain't one of them. When it comes to Sosua Beach, it's alive with locals and tourists, shops, dining, and more. In some cases, a lot more. Our tip for this area, it's great for older couples who are looking for that special experience off resort, but it's definitely more of a daytime experience. As for the water itself, Sosua Beach is somewhat calm to swim in, although it can still get a little wavy. There is dining available here, but, and this is gonna sound funny, but if you care about your food preparation, and cleanliness, you might want to head back into town for dinner. Or take a small walk across town and visit Playa Alicia.
Playa Alicia.
Waterfront Playa Alicia is a hotel and restaurant that's minutes away from Sosua Beach, and they have their own little beachfront. Here, all of the views are incredible. Inside, you're gonna find a beautifully decorated restaurant with a menu that serves up Dominican classics as well as familiar dishes. Away from the restaurant is, well, a remarkable view of Mount Isabel de Torres and the gorgeous tropical shores of Sosua. So it made way too much sense for us to choose this place to have breakfast, some coffee, and enjoy the view.
Coconut, chocolate, sugar. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better than this.
IHOP quality?
Even better. Authentic.
Authentic to what?
I didn't have to go to the international house. I went international.
Oh.
It's authentic.
It's a ham and cheese mozzarella, folks.
Ooh la la.
Here's the overall thoughts on Sosua. Sosua is a very affordable place for expat Canadians to retire, and henceforth, there's a certain level of familiarity and comfort here. You're going to find a lot of that charm, notably at the Jolly Roger and Playa Alicia, but you're also going to find some discomfort as well. The vast majority of everyone here in Sosua are super friendly and eager to help tourists, but there is a seediness that rears its head on some stretches and streets more than others, and especially later in the evening. But the truth is, that's part of the reason why some visitors choose Sosua as a place to visit to begin with. Just use some good judgment, some good travel judgment, and you should be fine. Before we move on, there's one more place worth visiting and mentioning in Sosua. That's Santa Fe Sosua Ocean Village, SOV. Darcy and I were looking for more of a resort-like experience because we desperately needed some R&R on this trip. At Santa Fe, you can find an infinity pool that feels like you're swimming in the ocean, incredible theming and decorative art all over the site, excellent service, drinks and food, and oh yeah, this incredible infinity pool that feels like you're swimming in the ocean. Check out our Instagram for Darcy's full thoughts, but I can't stress enough, this is an absolute must-do experience when you're visiting this part of the island. Now, let's head to Puerto Plata. It's a city of over 160,000 residents and serves as the capital of the Puerto Plata province. It's also home to a lot of resorts. Now, Darcy and I are big city people. While there are a lot of fun excursions to be had all over the north coast, including a notable adventure over at Dudu Lagoon, we chose a tour to go up to the city, which included going all the way to the top of Mount Isabel de Torres. We thought it'd be a little less adventurous. If you've been here before, you probably know that the traditional way up the mountain is via cable car. But the cable car is currently being renovated to take on a larger capacity of travelers. Honestly, I didn't have a complaint about that. I prefer the vehicle that goes on the road, even if it is on the back of a safari adventure bus. I mean, the views of the mountain along the drive were breathtaking.
We are 800 meters off of sea level to see Christ the Redeemer.
Look at us, guys. We're finally here.
We got the Redeemer behind us.
It's huge.
He's a big guy.
And I think it's a fraction. It's not the same size as the Brazilian one, right? So I can only imagine how big.
The Brazilian one is?
Wow.
Because this guy's pretty big.
I'll have to see it someday.
Yeah, stay tuned.
At the top, you'll be able to marvel at the Dominicans' own Christ the Redeemer statue. It was built to honor the statue in Brazil, which is 4 to 5 times larger than its Dominican counterpart. This is still super impressive. The views from here are also truly incredible. Puerto Plata is in full view along with its shore. It's a gorgeous sight, especially as cruise ships pull in and out.
Guys, currently we're walking through the botanical garden.
It's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Also at the top of Mount Isabel de Torres are the city's botanical gardens. Here, it's home to exotic plants and flora, super cute walking paths and trails, spooky caves, and charming historical displays. You might not go out of your way to visit the botanical gardens, but if you're here to see Christ the Redeemer, it's a great digestif, and Puerto Plata's city center view is also worth seeing. One thing to note about Mount Isabel de Torres, this is a national park, so there is an admission fee to enter. If you're on an excursion tour like we were, it should be covered. Our next stop takes us into Puerto Plata, but first, we have to talk about that other Dominican breakfast.
So on the tour, we got the option to have a Cuba Libre or Santa Libre. And we chose the Santa, which is rum and Sprite. Yeah, cheers, you guys. Yeah, it's a Dominican breakfast. It's perfect. Cheers.
Our next stop took us to Independence Square. This is kind of like the Central Park to the city. It's surrounded by colonial-era buildings, a very famous historic Catholic church, the Cathedral of San Felipe Apostol, and a gorgeous Victorian-style gazebo in the heart of the square, which has some incredible views atop the second floor. A short picturesque walk away will take you to an even more picturesque street that has a suspended umbrella canopy. Truthfully, Umbrella Street has no historical or cultural significance to Puerto Plata. That doesn't mean it's not worth visiting. In fact, it's done wonders to help revitalize Puerto Plata's downtown. On the street itself, there are street performers, gorgeous photography opportunities, some very solid looking food, and souvenirs aplenty.
Hey, Barbie.
Oh, hey, let's go party.
A short walk away from Umbrella Street, you can find Pink Street, a former underutilized alley that's been transformed entirely pink and become an extremely popular spot for tourists. There's a cafe or bar or dining-like experience inside, but You're mostly going to want to line up for your photo ops here. There are some fun ones to be had. One tip if you're visiting the city center of Puerto Plata, you might consider wanting to do this on your own as opposed to with a tour group. From our experience, we found that we were only given enough time to snap a photo or two before moving on to the next destination, which, to be honest, was disappointing because there's so much to see and do on Umbrella Street and around Independence Square. If you're nervous about traveling on your own, all these locations are packed with tour groups and tourists on a daily basis, and they're very walkable from one place to the next. If you're cruising, it's a decent 1 kilometer walk from the cruise port, or a very short taxi ride. From here, we take one more short drive. Located dramatically on the Puerto Plata coast, the Fortaleza San Felipe is a striking 16th century Spanish fortress with a tale as old as time. Built in 1577 to fend off pirates and invaders, there are imposing cannons and sturdy stone walls, once even serving as a prison. Today it invites visitors to walk through history. Offering panoramic views of the Atlantic and massive cruise ships, it's a perfect blend of adventure and history. It's also one of the oldest European structures in the Americas. For history buffs, this is a must visit, and likely a part of pretty much any excursion that comes to the city.
I would rather be at the Jolly Roger drinking Cannonball than in this heat standing next to them. Pirate humor.
From here, our excursion into Puerto Plata continues onwards to less noteworthy sites. And as mentioned earlier, outside of the Mount Isabel de Torres excursion, a lot of this is achievable on your own. In some ways, you're better off doing it on your own. There's been a lot of fun with this excursion group. Our tour guide Eddie was excellent, and the drinks were genuinely a lot at times.
How you feeling?
Fantastic. Like 8 shots later.
Sosua and Puerto Plata offer some unique experiences, but Cabarete Beach is actually one of the more famous beaches in the Dominican Republic, never mind the North Coast. Located roughly 20 minutes away from Sosua, Cabarete has a completely different vibe. Here, it's more of a jam. There are restaurants lined up all along the beachfront with fun decorations and string lights ready to kick the party off at night.
One of the fun things about Cabarete Beach is there's a lot of folks in these blue shirts, and I think they're kind of regulated on the beach to be able to come and sell you different things. Cigars.
La Mar,
Yeah.
the gems.
Massages.
Oh yeah. And they'll
Shaved
remember
coconut?
you. Oh, shaved coconut too.
Yeah, they do remember you. Yeah, we've been approached a few times.
Yeah, they know us, they know Chris's parents, so they're asking, are you still interested? When are you coming back? It's pretty cool.
Cool. Well, it's like half and half.
It's nice to be approached.
You're gonna be social, that's for sure.
Hola.
Hola.
Yeah.
Hey, why you there?
So we're at Mojito Bar. It was recommended to us, and the vibe is incredible. It is so cool. You can sit on the beach or in the bar. You can't beat this. We went with the namesake, so I got a mojito. I'm gonna check it out. Oh, it's really good. First one of the trip, and it's so fresh. All right, Chris, what did you get?
I got myself a Santa Libre. I did have quite a few of these yesterday, but I had to get it again today. It's become my new favorite drink. In case I don't want a Long Island for obvious reasons, I'm going with this guy. Guys, we got some fried shrimp. We tried to get coconut shrimp.
They do not have it.
Not on the menu.
So fried works. I feel like this might just be ketchup. It's cocktail sauce is not really a thing in the Caribbean. Well, that's okay. It is ketchup, and it is delicious.
It works.
It works.
It works. That might have more to do with that guy and that guy.
It still works.
You're allowed to eat the tail when it's fried?
No.
While the evening belongs to the party, kite surfing is the activity of choice for the day. With a kite surfing school, Cabarete Beach is world famous for this water activity. Our tip is to head to Cabarete a few hours before sunset, take a stroll down the beach, and watch the legions of kite surfers perform. If you're more of a swimmer, like we are, Cabarete Beach doesn't exactly have the calmest waters, hence the kite surfing. But that doesn't make it impossible to have some fun in the water. The waves are a lot of fun, and the very sandy beach makes it easier to ride the tide.
Woo! Okay, now we're getting wet.
Our ultimate take on Cabarete: this is a very special place. It's a place where both locals and tourists come to enjoy, and it's an absolute must-do on any vacation to Puerto Plata or the Dominican North Coast. You may even choose to stay at one of the few hotels and resorts here, or book a private rental or apartment nearby. There's a lot of really unique looking boutique hotels here, so if you're looking for that discount White Lotus experience, you might find it here, actually.
I feel amazing. Like, you walk on the beach, you swim in the ocean. Oh, my shoe popped off. Whoops. You just feel like your soul's connecting. Like, it's an amazing feeling. Salt water in the veins.
Does it remind you of any time in your life?
Yeah, it reminds me of like all the times I spent on cruise ships. It reminds me of all the times I traveled with you.
Oh,
It's just like such a good vibe.
that's nice.
Best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo!
It's a perfect day in Cabarete.
Before we wrapped up our trip, we had one more party to attend at Casa Linda back in Sosua. The Castaway restaurant hosted their annual Dominican Independence Day party, which meant live music, a buffet with Dominican classics, drink specials, and more. Casa Linda is a great spot if you're interested in renting a private villa and enjoying the North Coast in your own free time. Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of culture by hanging out in your private villa every day, but that decision is entirely up to you. With shuttle buses heading out multiple times a day and some incredible private taxi services ready on demand, the North Coast is ready to be explored whenever you are. And just like that, we're back in Toronto and it's still cold. Until our next trip, we've got some more Toronto to explore. Please give us a like. Please subscribe if you want to see more content from us. And thank you so much for watching. We got some really fun things coming your way, so we can't wait to share that with you all.